Is the carnivore diet a fad or a true lifestyle change? Let's dive in. Welcome to the Kristin Carrera podcast. I am your host, Kristin. Welcome back if you've been following along. And if you are new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, follow along, and comment. I love to hear if you're new to carnivore. Have you been on carnivore? How long? What has it healed? What are you looking to heal? All the in-betweens. Questions, leave them in the comments. All right, let's dive into this subject. So recently in one of my comments, I got that the carnivore diet is a fad. Well, I beg to differ. If you're questioning whether the carnivore diet is just another passing trend or something with real historical and health value, this episode will help clear that up, okay? The truth is, the way of eating has been rooted in centuries of human history, and it's far from just a fad. Stick around and let's dive deeper into why it's resonating with so many today. Today, we are diving into this hot topic that I get asked about or commented about all the time. Is the carnivore diet a fad or is it actually a true lifestyle change? Now, it just all depends where you're coming from, right? Because you will have those hardcore vegans tell you that this is a fad. And I get those comments often. So now I know it seems like every day there is a new trend when it comes to diets. I get that. And with so many people talking about carnivore, some for it, some against it, it's easy to wonder, is this just the latest in a long line of fad diets, or is there something more to this? Well, I'm here to tell you that the carnivore diet is definitely not just a passing trend. In fact, this way of eating actually goes back centuries. Yes, centuries. Humans have eaten a meat-based diet for most of our history. If we look at the way early humans survived, it was largely through hunting and consuming animal products. I will still get heat about this, okay? In many places around the world, traditional diets still consist of large amounts of animal-based foods, far before the rise of processed foods, seed oils, and carbohydrates. So, what's different today, right? Why is this all of a sudden a fad diet that everybody talks about and wants to say that it is? Well, we're starting to see more and more people turn to carnivore because they're tired of being told what to eat based on the latest scientific studies or food pyramid, which we all know the food pyramid is a scam. Take that comment as you want. The truth is, science is always changing. You cannot tell me otherwise. Science is always changing. If you look at old studies, those studies will tell you that one thing was bad, then it was good, then it was bad again, right? Science is always changing. And while it's important to look at studies, sometimes personal experiences and anecdotal evidence can show us something that science hasn't fully caught. So I think that we need to pay attention to what is going on around us. We need to listen more. Doctors need to listen more, okay? So for example, the positive testimonial from people on the carnivore diet are everywhere. Go online, check it out. Go to carnivore groups, check it out. From relief from chronic diseases like depression, anxiety, autoimmune disorders, to more energy, mental clarity, it's clear that many people are seeing real lasting benefits. But here's the thing, science is still catching up. We don't have a ton of published clinical studies on carnivore yet, but that is slowly changing. Hopefully more studies will emerge as more people find success with this way of eating. I know Dr. Sean Baker is trying to get studies out there and working with other doctors. And so I am excited to see what happens in the coming years. But just because there's not a lot of hard science, quote unquote, it doesn't mean it's not working. I know it's a bit frustrating for some when they hear people like me talk about how much the carnivore diet has helped them. The skepticism is understandable. People have their own experiences, and that's great. But for me, carnivore wasn't just a quick fix. It wasn't about losing weight. It was a real lifestyle change that helped me feel better than I have in years. So when people ask me, is this just another fad diet? Or they comment, carnivore is a fad diet. I think it's important to highlight that carnivore is not just a trend. It's a return of something much more foundational to humans on how we have survived throughout history. We've just been sidetracked by modern conveniences, processed foods, things like seed oils, sugar, junk food that don't serve our bodies well. And unfortunately, we have a lot of catching up to do. So at the end of the day, every person's body is different. I say this all the time. I'm not telling anyone that they have to eat carnivore or that this is the only way to feel better. I'm not saying that. But what I'm sharing is what worked for me. And if you're on the fence and you're curious as to whether it will work for you, I encourage you to do your research, to try it for yourself, see for yourself if this is something that will help heal you on your journey. And if you're wondering whether the carnivore diet is just a passing trend or a true lifestyle shift, then I think that we just covered that, right? This is the way of eating, not just for myself, but for many people out there. So it's a return to a way of living that humans have followed for centuries. So let's just stop saying it's a fad and let's open our minds. Let's open our ears, like I tell the kids. Let's listen, learn, educate each other. That's what I'm constantly thriving to do on this journey and sharing my thoughts with you. And so I hope that this episode helped open up a little bit of that discussion that many people have out there. And I have a few resources that I like to point out to people, some doctors that I like to listen to. You could check that out in the description. And if you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments. Like, share, follow along, ring that bell so that you get more updates on future podcasts. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you on the next podcast.